Call meeting order, please, with a roll call.
Legislator Frost.
Here.
Legislator Calamus.
Here.
Legislator Mosher. Here. Legislator Lindecker.
Here.
Legislator Nortz.
Here.
Legislator Moorhan. Here. Legislator Levicker.
Here.
Legislator Osborne.
Here.
Legislator Nellenbach.
Here.
And Legislator Dahlhoff.
Here. Would everyone please stand for the invocation of the pledge? We'll need to say the pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, grant us wisdom, clarity in this meeting tonight. Guide our words, decisions with integrity, compassion, and a heart for justice. And also as we approach Veterans Day next week, let us dedicate our pledge in honor of all the veterans. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any amendments to the October 7th board meeting minutes? If not, those minutes stand approved. Privilege of the floor. Is anyone here who would like privilege of the floor? Mrs. Jones.
Thank you, everybody. I wanted to take just a couple minutes and update you on the effects of the federal shutdown as it relates to programs and services at the Department of Social Services. So the biggest impact that everybody's been reading about, really everywhere, is about the SNAP program, right? SNAP's run through the DSS office. So just to give you a level set, in Lewis County, 11% of our population receives SNAP benefits. So that's almost 3,000 people. Of that, 25% are children, 28% are senior citizens. So think about that component as we go through with this. And then each month, we get somewhere between 65 to 100 new applications, depending on the month. So right now, we distribute almost $500,000 a month in SNAP benefits to Lewis County residents. So if you think about that, that's $5.5 million a year. So right now, no SNAP benefits are currently being issued. Now, we're only on day 4. So that's good news, right? We're only on the 4th of the month. For every dollar in SNAP benefits, there's $1.60 economic benefit activity from that. So if you multiply that by our annual amount, that's about $8.8 million of SNAP benefit that goes into Lewis County to places like Tops, Walmart, those kind of places. So we all know there was a recent court hearing that held, and everybody's reading about 50%. The federal government's going to issue 50% of the benefit, but it's not as easy as that. So if I was a beneficiary and I was getting $100, I'm not necessarily going to get $50. What we have to do is take the maximum household benefit amount, strip that by 50%, then multiply it by 30% of the income, because it's expected that people will use 30% of their income to buy food. So we take the max benefit, take off what you're supposed to be spending. So in essence, it'll be far less than 50% of what people will receive. As a matter of fact, the minimum benefit will be $12. In order for all this to happen, it's going to take up to the 12th to the 14th of this month to have those calculations complete. And then if anybody's familiar with SNAP, you know it all doesn't come out on day 1. We have an order of operations for SNAP where it's distributed over 10 days. So day 1 would be the 15th of November. So then it's going to take 10 days for all those issuances to happen. So we're really clocking down into the end of November for this limited benefit amount. So it's more complicated than it sounds. I know I talked to the county manager earlier today. When we just give them half of the benefit, That's not the guidance from the federal government and how that's gonna work, so be prepared for that. It's gonna take a while. Coexisting with that, we are going to put out tomorrow on our website and on county social media an expedited emergency food benefit application for those that are on SNAP and public assistance. It'll have a defined benefit dollar amount based on household size. But SNAP recipients don't have to report resources right now. This is a public assistance benefit, so you have to report resources. So it's a lot of manual work on the staff at the Department of Social Services that we'll be doing, but at least the application's about 1 page long. We'll look at everything we have in the SNAP record and try to move them along. And it's calculated at a a 15-day benefit. Enough food for 15 days is the idea, based on the Thrifty Food Plan. So it's really, I would probably spend far more on 15 days of food. So that's going on. The court in Rhode Island, the federal court in Rhode Island, also issued an order that the ABOD waiver, so ABOD means able-bodied without dependents. We had a waiver in New York State about expanded work rules. The federal government told us a month ago, your waiver's gone, implement ABOD. As a matter of fact, we had our first orientation session today for ABOD activity. So these are people without kids under the age of 14 and up to between age 18 and up to age 64. Used to be age 60. Now it's age 64. You have to perform work activities in order to receive SNAP. And of course, DSS has to monitor all those work activities that you're doing for that. The federal judge said, wait, FNS, you can't do that. Well, we've already implemented all of that. We've already got our coding done. We've already started to see people. We've already sent out our notices. That's back in court on November 6th. So I don't know where that lands. So this is moving every single day. And then the last thing I wanted to make you aware of is HEAP. We had a lot of calls about HEAP. HEAP was supposed to open November 1st. Then we were told the 17th. And it looks like it could be as late as November 24th. So in the meantime, I mentioned Mr. Norris, I sat next to him at the Office for Aging meeting this afternoon, that in the meantime, people could apply for emergency public assistance benefits. That income is much, much lower than if you applied for HEAP. We also look at resources. So we could be seeing an uptick in temporary assistance applications for people that are having heating emergencies. Now, today wasn't too bad. It didn't meet our cold weather period standard, but next week will. It'll be cold and there's no heat. So we've already had people come into our lobby asking for HEAP, swearing at us because it's not available and leaving. Questions like, how am I supposed to pay my rent if I have to buy the fuel? So these are people that are living kind of right on that edge and don't have any spare money at this point. So that's the update as of my call at 4:30 today on the federal government, and I'm sure it'll evolve even more. It'd be much easier if the federal government would just reopen. We could have issued the full benefits far faster than we can issue these reduced benefit amounts. It's taking a lot of calculations and in order to do that. Any questions from anybody?
What are you looking at for a potential shortfall if this situation doesn't change for the month and then the year?
Dollar wise,
Yes,
I don't have a good answer for that, because it depends on the category of eligibility for public assistance. So if it's a family assistance case, say there's children in the household, that's 100% state share. So that might not hit us as a local taxpayer in our local budget in 25, but it's gonna hit the state, and it could hit it pretty hard in the next few days.
so basically it's a can of worms yet until.
Right, and if you're safety net, that's 72% local share. So it depends on the category of eligibility. Believe me, we take a look very seriously when people come in and apply. We check bank accounts, we check IRAs, we check pension plans, we check everything we can. We have, computer matching. There's a lot that happens as part of that application. It's not just fill out this piece of paper, send it in, and someone calls. It's pretty complicated, so it's hard to get purposely because it has local tax dollar implications. So I'm sorry, I can't give you a good answer on that one. So I did talk with 4 of our food pantries today. They have extra food. They're getting extra food from the Central New York Food Bank through the emergency allotments the governor is issuing. But truthfully, they have not seen a massive run on our food pantries. We've seen a lot of people calling and heard a lot of people calling us really asking for clarity, but not an increase in emergency applications or anything like that. We're a resilient bunch here around Lewis County. I caution people, don't panic too early. You don't need 30 days of food on day one. So hopefully this will settle out in the next week or so at the federal government, and then things will move on, kind of go back to normal. Busy time at the department. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Anyone else for privilege of the floor?
I don't know how to do this.
Would you please state, your name for the record, please?
Okay, so our group is here to address the board concerning a couple of issues. The first being what we have labeled the Glenfield Main Street Racetrack. There are no speed limit signs on the main drag. Only no parking signs every 50 feet or so, both sides. Vehicles think it's okay to go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. The speed limit signs on Main Street Extension and Glenfield Road mean absolutely nothing. And as well as the stop signs at the intersection at the school. There have been several close head-on collisions. Is it possible to get flashing speed limit signs like the village has, like on Ross Road, and their stoplights at the intersection? Cameras. We have even invited the police to sit in some of our driveways. That's how bad it is, to no avail. It has become a very serious situation. When and if school gets up and running with the apartments, there will be a lot more people and vehicles around. This also brings up the second issue of the streets being open to the 4x4s and the side-by-sides. We had a nice little quiet town made up of mostly senior citizens. We can enjoy sitting out on our porches or decks, can't even have our windows open. Racing up and down day and night, all hours of the night. Let's not leave out the trail around the school, which we were told is going to be taken out, which will be a godsend. We can't sleep at night, ATVs running all hours. We're sick of screaming at the vehicles to slow down, even the 4x4s. Don't get me wrong, there's very few that are following speed limits and not going like crazy. And what are our rights as tax-paying citizens? We deserve to enjoy our golden years spending time outside when the summer and fall weather allows. We are being robbed of this. Sometimes we have to leave our home for a day to have some peace and quiet. Some of us still have to work during the week and need sleep, which is hard to get. Getting woke up during the night with the wheelers and the vehicles just thinking that our streets are the same as the main highway. Very disappointing and sad, but we have to put up with. We are fed up. It seems so nice that the trails are closed now. That's a plus. Although at 9 o'clock the other night, a wheeler was racing around the school. What can we do? We don't know what to do anymore.
Can I ask the name of your group, please?
Our group?
You're just residents?
We're just senior residents in Glenfield.
So, one question, when we redid the streets in Glenfield, they were narrowed fresh sign, new signs, at least at every intersection I'm aware of. Are you aware of any intersection that does not have a stop sign or?
The intersections have a stop sign, but there's no speed limit signs. And no one follows them. Nothing. It's
Is that
sad.
something we can address then? Okay.
You hear them coming, they come from over the bridge in Glenfield. I don't know if you know that from Greg. And you can hear them coming. It's crazy. It's just like everybody's making their own rules.
But nothing on that road till you get to the intersection changed, right? Just
Right, there's a stop sign at the,
So,
the intersection of the Greg Road and Main Street.
so is this something that pertains to the upgrade on the Glenfield streets, or has this been an issue?
Oh,
for-
no, this is 10 times worse since the road got done. I mean, there were some that were bad enough, they even hit the potholes. I saw a horse trailer, that poor horse, when the potholes were there, but now it's just, I mean, there's been calls to the South Louis School reminding the two buses that come down in Glenfield, that there is a stop sign at the school and the speed limit is 30 miles an hour. But it is horrifying. Somebody's gonna get killed. I don't know. We don't know what else to do.
If you called the state police and asked them to.
We've talked to them directly, we told them, we talked to two, face to face. Told them the situation, and like I said, we've even invited them to come and sit in our driveway. Haven't seen anybody. It's sad, and like I said, the apartments are gonna come, and at the school, there's gonna be a lot more people. A lot more traffic,
Right.
and we don't know what to do anymore.
So the lack of the potholes, you think, are contributing to the speed?
Oh, God, yes. But and I personally live right there, almost at the corner, and as a couple of them do, and we see it all the time. And it's sad.
You
But I don't
called
know.
the sheriff's department as well, asking for them to patrol it more.
Yeah, like I said, we talked to both of them, right face to face. But I said, I don't know, we don't know what else to do.
Well, we will be happy to put some speed limit signs up for you, but I'm not sure. We don't control enforcement. That's.
I know.
sheriff. He's an elected official.
Right,
That's under his purview.
right.
State police, we can put up 30 mile an hour
Right.
speed limit.
But I said, even the
We thought we were-
wheelers don't even.
Well, the trail system is closed at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's a godsend because it's so quiet, it feels good. I mean, now we can sit out, but you can't, and you can't have the windows open because it's cold. So you're stuck inside all the time. Like I said, the summertime, we have to close our windows. Because like I said, we're right there. So it's not much of enjoyment.
I don't know what else we can do, John. John Reed is our highway superintendent.
I'll take a look at it tomorrow.
I mean, we could put speed bumps in there, but I don't think.
Oh, we've even talked about doing that ourselves. You know, we're just sick of screaming at people and getting flipped off and hollering at them, they go even faster. It's not fun.
It's a proud deal.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments for your approach to the floor?
I'm Linda Domagala. I'm related to or neighbor to almost everybody that's here. I'm not a troublemaker, but I don't like people being punished for being good neighbors. We had in the wintertime, people coming through with snowmobiles and with, anything that would still go in the snow. I had someone ring my doorbell at 3 o'clock in the morning. By the time I got my robe on and got to the door, I looked out, I didn't see anybody. So I went back to bed. The next day, I got out and I looked around. They had smacked into one of my trees and there was glass everywhere. It was safety glass, but it was a lot of marbles all over my yard. I don't know that anybody was hurt. Nobody ever came back and said anything to me, but I don't want people to get hurt. These are my friends, my neighbors. And as far as the speed, it's not necessary. And it's a tight, that was great, making it narrow, except now where the church is, there's no room for parking. Unless I go to the bar and park there and then walk up to church, which doesn't look really good, but I hope that we can get somebody that will pay attention because I'm 78. I'm not a teenager anymore. And when I'm saying something is wrong, I hope you people will listen. I don't know what authority you would have, but people should be respecting the people that live there. I know years ago we would snowmobile on Tug Hill. Well, there's not a lot of people living there. This is a community, and here if they're blasting through there and day and night, it's not even staying on the road. I don't know, it's a problem.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Report of the Financial Rules Committee per Rule 16.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My name is Geraldine Salmon. I spoke several months ago. I raised the concern that others here today have now experienced. To my legislator, Mr. Liverker, it's time for you to take and listen to your constituents. The groundswell will only continue to grow. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and let's get together and do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan Solomon, Lowell, New York. I'd like to talk about the ARPA money. It's been told that today, later in this meeting, you are going to approve quitclaim deed to go towards the project of the rails to trails. We have many other issues in this county that need to be addressed that I'm concerned aren't being addressed. There's infrastructure issues. Another thing that's concerning is when I hear that one legislator gets phone calls from other constituents from other districts because that legislator is the only one that will listen. That's concerning. I hope that we start listening to our constituents. And as far as what they've spoken about in Glenfield, I think that this all has started since the opening of those roads. And nothing has been done. Law enforcement is lacking. And you do not have a trail system, you have a road system. I've seen your map that's been provided to me by Mike Levicker, and that map is roads. There's very, very few trails. Further, I can't find where the Gorska Road or the Gorska Trail has even been created unless I'm missing something. I see this short trail on Route 12 in Glenfield, continuing to try to make this a trail system and claim it as such. Doesn't pass muster. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you all. And we move to a report of the Financial Rules Committee for Rule 6, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee has met and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Need someone to move it, please. Jessica, second by her. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Corporate board report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The semi-annual mortgage tax report for April 1st, 2025 through September 30th of 2025 has been completed and distributed to the Board of Legislators. The sum of $228,843.55 has been apportioned to the tax districts, and the Treasurer's Office has been directed to pay the respective amounts due to the towns, villages, and the County of Lewis pursuant to the provisions of Section 261 of the tax law, along with the signed warrant. The legislators also received the final draft of the Lewis County Winter Recreation Master Plan. The following resolutions were received. Yates County, resolution authorizing legislative chair to sign letter urging Congress to maintain SNAP and HEAP funding, and resolution supporting Senate Bill S 8481, Assembly Bill A 8996 to authorize local governments to opt out of mandates and benchmarks arising under the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act and associated universal electrification requirements pursuant to Section 153 of the county law. Essex County was a resolution urging the New York legislator and Governor Hochul to enact legislation amending general municipal law in relation to exempting public employees' health insurance premiums paid by towns and counties in New York State from the New York State real property tax cap. Greene County submitted a resolution in support of Congressman Nick Langsworthy's Energy Choice Act and in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans. Lewis County received notification of the following grant awards: $80,378 for probation under the state aid block grant and $304,126 for Mill Creek Stream Bank stabilization under the New York State Department of State Clean Water, Clean Air, and Green Jobs Environmental Bond Act of 2022. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Standing committee reports. We'll start with Finance and Rules Committee with Legislator Osborne.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to report that the real property has received a certified resolution from the town of Pinckney authorizing participation in the county's tax collection software and adoption of the installment payment option for its taxpayers. With Pinckney's enrollment, all towns are now participating in the program, achieving 100% countywide participation. Also, Lewis County's annual 30-day ag period for landowners to request inclusion into Ag District 6 opens on November 15th. The Planning and Community Development Department will accept inclusion applications through December 15th, after which staff will review eligibility with the Lewis County Agricultural Farmland Protection Board for a final recommendation to the Board of Legislators in early 2026. The Planning and Community Development has been working with the Tug Hill Commission, Nashbury Lewis, and Northern New York Community Foundation to coordinate and facilitate a series of free nonprofit boot camp sessions. On November 6th, a virtual financial oversight for nonprofits session will be held from noon to 1 p.m. If interested, the session and registration information are located on the Lewis County homepage. Anyone is invited to attend. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. We'll move to General Services Committee with Legislator Moorhan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With winter fast approaching and snow already predicted for next week, the Lewis County Highway Department is preparing to keep our roads safe and clear. Here are some important snow reminders. Avoid pushing or piling snow onto or across roadways. It's illegal and can damage plow equipment. Keep areas around and beyond mailboxes free of snow. Note that the mailboxes in the right-of-way are not the municipality's responsibility. Also drive with your headlights on and give snowplows plenty of space to operate safely. Additionally, the Lewis County Highway Department recently completed CPR training, and special thanks go to Bob McKenzie and John for their excellent instructions. And that's all I have.
Questions for Andrea? Thank you. And Health and Human Services Committee, legislator Moser, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Lewis County Office of the Aging invites everyone to their annual holiday movie event at the Town Hall Theater on December 2nd, 2025, starting at 4 p.m. This year's feature is Christmas with the Cranks. The first 300 attendees will enjoy free popcorn, courtesy of the generous sponsors at NERCL. They look forward to kicking off the holiday season. Public Health will be providing flu and COVID vaccines to employees and family members, including Board of Legislator members, Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30 at the Human Services Building, and 12:45 to 1:45 in the board chambers. Anyone wishing to get vaccines but are unavailable during that time can call Public Health, set up an appointment, go to their pharmacy. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairperson.
Questions for Jessica? Thank you. Move to the report from the hospital with our representative there, Legislator Norris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start off by announcing the employee for the month of February was Megan Ford, a physician's office assistant. The meeting was held on October 29th, and at the time there was a moment of silence to memorialize Dr. Allison, former member of our medical staff. In a moment of silence, they celebrated his life from December 2nd to 1946. He provided both compassionate health care for generations of families from Lewis County as a general surgeon and will be greatly missed. There was a gain of $33,000 versus a budgeted gain of $62,000 for the month of September. The year-to-date loss is $1.6 million versus a budgeted gain of $9,000. Acute admissions were 71 against a budget of 80. Observations were 67 against a budget of 56. ER visits were 1,002 against a budget of 1,024. Outpatient visits were 6,700 against a budget of 6,600. Purchase services were over budget due to traveling nurse staffing totals of 568,000. A break-even 2026 budget was submitted to the County of Lewis for inclusion in our budget request, which will be reviewed at our next budget meeting. Also, it was discussed about the Comfort Care Home in Castellan. At this time, there's no update because the state legislature has not been meeting. Until they meet, there's no discussion, or that institution cannot move forward. That's my report.
Thank you, Vinny. Before we move to the county manager report, to the residents of Glenfield, I would say that, we thought we were doing you a favor. I think we spent $5 million there. Is that the number, John? To give you an upgrade for your community. Personally, I thought it came out well. It's very attractive. And I'm truly sorry that it seems to have this negative impact. So hopefully we can get some enforcement down there and take care of some of your issues. County manager report with Mr. Hunt, please.
First of all, I would mention, perhaps we can look at some flashing speed signs, or, a trailer that we can move around to different neighborhoods, because one of the things they show is those trailers aren't effective if they're left there, or even a permanent sign that flashes are not effective. But if you keep moving them, they have some temporary value, so we can talk about that, John, as a possibility. A couple announcements. First of all, No Shave November. Bob McKenzie is not here tonight because he's at a regional fire administrators meeting in, I believe, Lake George. But Bob is raising money for breast cancer this month. So if he gets $1,000, he will shave his mustache. And for those of you who don't know, Bob has not been without his mustache for a long, long time. So let's try to help him, get him $1,000, and he will live stream it on Facebook as he shaves his mustache. Second, Candy Aiken, our real property tax director, was elected president of the New York State Real Property Tax Directors Association at their last month's meeting. And she is the first president from Lewis County. So congratulations, Candy. And I would say that exemplifies the leadership of our department heads. She is a leader in the field of real property. And is leading that organization. So she's aware of all of the changes and legislation and everything that's happening. So we're very proud of your participation and thank you, Candy. 3, Glenfield Schools. We are getting ready to sign a pre-possession agreement. We need to get it cleaned out. There's a bunch of furniture in there. This week is a week where any volunteer organization, 501c3, fire department can get furniture. It's open. We have staff there during the day to help you look at what's there and take whatever you need for your organization. So if anybody has a not-for-profit or some organization that can use some furniture, please stop down and take that. The last 2 days of this week, on Thursday and Friday, will be open to county employees as well. We've tried to auction this stuff off. We've had no bids. Twice now, we've had 0 bids on furniture. So it's just not a real high value stuff and we just want to get it cleaned out of there. So please go down and help yourself. The land bank members, you guys have already gotten the memo to please get those names in. 2026 tentative budget is been handed out tonight. It is on the back table for anybody in the audience that would like it. It will be available at the county clerk's office. It will also be going up on the web page tomorrow. So we will have that, and then we will be putting up some live data analytics going forward as well. And there will be questions and comments that you'll be able to link right to it, and you can ask questions about the budget. So we're trying to get that information out there before the next public hearing, just to make you aware of that. And then lastly, the rail trail purchase closed October 23 of this month. We closed on the rails per resolution 276 of 2022. It was already authorized, the purchase. The money had already been set aside for that purchase, and we were waiting for the state and federal approvals, which has happened. So it is, that has been done. What's next? We're committed to a master plan with public involvement. So we've also already engaged Alta consulting firm. That was done several years ago, but put on hold until this transaction actually took place. So Jackie, I know, has been in touch, and we've re-engaged them because we are committed to following a process of getting public involvement and a master plan before we do anything. So that's the next step, is totally just public input on what could happen. If you'd like to know more about that process, the input, there is a podcast that we recorded on Friday that will be released tomorrow morning. We have set up a web page on the Lewis County website for any information related to the rail trail going forward. So that podcast will be on there. There'll be a press release going out tomorrow stating all of this. That will also be on that web page, and any further information, any information we have going forward will all be in that central location, and we'll be pushing out to the public as well. And then November 13th, I know that's very quick notice, that's next Thursday. Cassie has been able to secure us a bus to go to Tupper Lake to that rail trail. We have 32 seats on that bus. We're asking any legislators that would like to go, anybody from the public, any local government officials, if they would like to go on that trip. We have reached out to a number of people, town supervisors along that trail that can talk about the process and what impacts it's had in that community. So we are putting that together. If you'd like to get on that bus and ride up that day and see that, please let Cassandra know, and we will do a first come, first serve. There's 32 seats, and it's open to anybody that would like to go. So that is the update on the rail trail, and that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Question for Tim. Thank you, Tim. We'll move to the county treasurer report with Mr. Ritzler.
Thank you very much. You have my written report. I'm gonna emphasize a couple of items that are in there. One on the health plan. I think as you know, we've had an advisory committee working, which includes, union, representatives as well as, regular staff employees from both the hospital and the county. They've been meeting for 4 or 5 months now. They've been, I think, very productive. We had a good meeting actually this morning. One of the things that's come from that, mentioned in my report, is the pharmacy benefit management review. That's something that has not been done for our plan in many, many years. So we are looking at any of those types of things that make sense to consider for changes or revisions, improvements to our plan, and that group has been doing a good job in considering those things and bringing forward their own ideas also. We did, by the way, get 5 proposals from PBMs, at an RFP process that we've initiated. So over the next couple of months, we'll be reviewing those, and if there is a change, we'll head forward through this group to enact a change in our pharmacy benefit management. I also wanted to mention just some information on cash flow. It was an item in my report. We don't talk about this much, but our cash flow for the county is fluid throughout the year. If you think about it, we get $19 million in property tax revenue in the first 2 or 3 months of the year. And really, we have to hold that and use that for much of the rest of the year. We get other regular infusions of cash through sales tax and state and federal programs, but that property tax really is our base for the year. We've had to consider that as we invest our funds. We've talked quite a bit about 3+1 and how they assist us with that. And we've really learned a lot and optimized how we invest our funds and to ensure that we have cash available at the end of the year. That's, I think we've talked in the past about, we get an IGT notice that we have to expend some cash. Those are unpredictable. And if we are in October and have one of those and we don't have cash available, that causes a little bit of a headache. So we've learned how to structure our cash flow, how to invest our funds, to work around those situations and to, again, optimize how our cash is invested and when we can access it. So if you ever have any questions about that, I enjoy talking about it, so feel free to reach out and I can give you any more information on that you'd like. I think we're definitely doing a much better job with that, and we'll continue to learn and work through that process. Those are the things I wanted to highlight. I also would make just a comment back to Tim's invite to go visit the rail trail in Tupper Lake. I have been on that trail from Tupper Lake to Lake Placid, I think 3 times in the last year. You would be amazed by the activity you see. I've been there on a weekday, I've been there on a couple of weekends, and there are always people on that trail. If you go up and see that, they've done a phenomenal job building it. It looks great every place you go. There are new businesses. I've seen them. I've been in them, and you have to go to see it to realize what it really is doing in that community. And if you read the news, you will see that they're talking about it all the time in the North Country. Thanks.
Any questions for Eric? Report of the Finance and Rules Committee per Rule 7, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee reports that they have examined claims presented for payment in total amount of $2,959,879.07 and recommend that they be audited and allowed for the amounts claimed.
Someone would like to make a motion? Tom Chalmers, do I have a second? Andrea? Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. Consent resolutions. We are going to pull number 212, 223, 236, 237, 221, 224, 227, 228, 229, and 232. Are there any others that anyone would like to vote on individually? If not, someone would like to make a motion to move the rest of them as a consent packet. Moved by Herb, second by Jessica. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries. Back to, looks like 212.
Resolution 212 is auditing and allowing claims in the amount of $2,959,879.07.
Someone like to move it? Herb, for a second. Vinnie, any discussion?
Mr. Chairperson, I have to recuse myself from this vote due to payments being made to myself and also upon vouchers that I approved as the assigned counsel.
Please note that in the minutes, and this is roll call.
Okay, Legislator Mosher is abstained. Legislator Nortz,
Yes.
Legislator Lindecker,
Yes.
Legislator Frost,
Yes.
Legislator Levicker,
Yes.
Legislator Moorhan,
Yes.
Legislator Nellenbach,
Yes.
Legislator Osborne,
Yes.
Legislator Calamus,
Yes.
and Legislator Dolhoff.
Yes.
Resolution number 221 is a resolution in support of Congressman Nick Langsworthy's Energy Choice Act in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans.
Moved by Tom Calmus. Do I have a second? Josh? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution 223 is a resolution authorizing long-term leases with purchase options between County of Lewis and JLHO Board of Cooperative Education Services for the Jack J. Boak Jr. Ed Center and the Lewis County JCC Ed Center, Lowell, New York.
Someone like to move it? Herb, second. Andrea, discussion.
I just think the land's being way undervalued. I mean, land in our area is selling from 5,000 to 9,000 an acre. And for this to be valued at 2,300, just doesn't seem right.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Legislator Frost,
Yes.
Legislator Mosher,
Yes.
Legislator Nortz,
Yes.
Legislator Levicker,
Yes.
Legislator Osborne,
Yes.
Legislator Calamus,
Yes.
Legislator Lindecker,
No.
Legislator Moorhan,
Yes.
Legislator Nellenbach,
Yes.
and Legislator Dolhoff.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 224 is a resolution to set second public hearing for Lewis County Housing Rehabilitation Program, CDBG project number 636 HR 300-2023, administered by Snowbelt Housing.
Moved by Tom Osborne, second by Herb. Discussion.
I was just wondering what project that is.
Cassie?
It's the housing rehab program that Snowbelt administers for us. We have to do a second public hearing once 80% of the funds have been dispersed.
Any other comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 227 is a resolution authorizing parking lot lease with Bonnie Hodkinson.
Moved by Josh. Second. Andrea, discussion.
Are we just renewing the lease? Because I see December 22nd, 1998.
Jack, do you have an answer for that?
The original lease was with Louis, and he passed away. This is his daughter, and she's willing to do a 99-year lease so that it continues to be a parking area.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 228 is a resolution to authorize Director of Recreation, Forestry, and Parks Department to execute landowner access agreements for parking lots to be used by public recreation users.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jessica. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed?
No.
So legislator Linedecker opposed, and it carries.
Resolution number 229 is a resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Motorola Solutions Incorporated for public safety Flex Plus software and maintenance for the Spillman CAD system, records management system, and mobile data software system for emergency communications.
Moved by Vince, second by Tom Osborne. Discussion.
Yeah, question.
Tom,
With all the software upgrade, it's gonna get to a point where I think the sheriff's department is gonna need, IT support on this stuff.
Yeah, I've spoke to the sheriff about that. I think he's receptive. He realizes the technology's coming quickly in his department, and he's open to that.
anything else? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 232 is a resolution authorizing 6-month renewal agreement between the County of Lewis and ICU Security and Private Investigations for armed security guard services at the Social Services/Human Services Building.
Moved by Tom Osborne, second by Andrea. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution 236 is resolution in support of Kraft Heinz and the North Country Regional Economic Development Council's application for the New York State Achieve Grant.
Moved by Vince, second by Jeff. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries.
Resolution number 237 is the late resolution, and it's a resolution rescinding and terminating bid and contract with Elite Excavating and Demolition and awarding bid to DNS Excavating LLC for demolition and removal of building located at 6314 West Main Street, Village of Turin.
Moved by Barry, second by Andrea. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. That, I believe, is the end of the resolutions. Other business. Just want to make everyone aware that the next full board meeting will be held on Tuesday, November 18th at 5 o'clock. And I think we are going to move the committee meetings up to start at 2 p.m. so that it sort of flows together. So 2 o'clock for the committee meetings and 5 o'clock for the board meeting on November 18th. Anyone have anything else to add? Vince?
Mr. Chairman, this time I'd like to make an update about the Alpine Express on Fort Drum. I received an email from Tiffany saying that they're running one bus, but ridership is down because they're running into problems with the routes being publicized with the government shutdown. The publicity department's shut down, so the base is not getting the full information about what we're offering. We're running one bus right now. We have 3 buses in the works that are going to be going to Fort Drum. They're also looking for drivers. They're not sure if they're going to have too many or not enough, but this is something that the county worked hard to get for Fort Drum. It's going to get there. It's just a matter of time when Washington settles down, gets down to business, and starts allocating money like they should.
Okay, thank you for the update. Do we have anything else? Move to adjourn. Tom Osborne, second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.